we had a dude who used to give you, he had like he'd always have raisins in his pockets, individual raisins, and he'd give you a couple of them. We had a dude, my dad had a friend, and he'd put cinnamon on the fucking palm of his hand and let you lick it off. And this was probably, and then one of his feet was longer than the other one. Or he had a...
What the fuck is the name? Where?
Extra foot. Or not, he was black.
Where were
and he had like half of an extra foot. So, you know, black
Throwing out the bottom of it?
Well, black people are always trying to show off, you know, but he had like a...
Well, hold on a second.
He had like a lift on his shoe. One of his feet wasn't that long.
One of his feet. Oh, I thought you meant he had like 2 feet stacked like a sandwich.
No.
Like a foot sandwich.
Do you think there's more porn stars or murderers in the world? I think murderers. You know, I actually know a guy, probably shouldn't say this on here, but I'm not going to say names, but I know a guy who killed someone. And he said, and this isn't me saying this, dude, I wouldn't do something like this. But he said that it fucking feels good. And he did say that.
Do you know how he murdered him?
Huh?
Do you know how he murdered him?
I don't know anything else, man. Let me see that. Well, we had a dude, Mr. Patrick, he'd give you 20, 40 bucks. He'd walk about 60 feet from you, show you his asshole. As long as you looked at it, you kept the money.
That's fucking amazing.
You know? And is that pedophilia? I don't know what that is. That's art.
That's an ATM.
Yeah, that's kind of art.
Yeah, that's an ATM, dude.
Yeah.
Definitely, dude.
That's amazing.
That's ass to money, dude. You know? But yeah. And as long as he would only look, he'd kind of look back once to make sure you were locked in, dude.
That's
and I didn't
incredible.
feel like it, you know, I didn't like watching him take his belt off, but I didn't mind seeing his asshole from far away.
Who gives a fuck? It's just another man's asshole at that point. Back then, pedophiles were pedophiles.
Oh, yeah.
You knew if it was a pedophile.
Yeah, they had a van. They were yelling, I'm a pedophile.
Yeah, that's right. I'm a pedophile.
Dude, we used to have a guy, I remember they had a guy who chiseled some tits into a, not a pine tree, maybe a birch or something, and people would go out there and jerk off to
on
it.
the tits. Were they that good?
No, jerk off at the base of the tree. I think he used like a step stool or something, or stood on a barrel.
That's when you found all the magazines in the woods.
Oh yeah, we used to have that. But sometimes you go out by the
found
tree
all the
and somebody would be
magazines.
using the tree and be like, "Oh fuck, I gotta walk back
ridiculous.
home now."
That's not a real thing, Theo. You're
Oh, it's
making this
100%
up.
real.
You're making this up. You have photographs of this tree?
No.
Why not? Do you know where it is? Could you take us back there with the film crew?
I could take you back there with a film crew. I bet it devolved now though. How long does a tree live?
Go back there and touch the thing, and all of a sudden you can't find your way back home. Where the fuck are we? We're going in a circle. Yeah. Ah! You go mad. Like it turns out that the tree got tired of people jerking off on it, so it evolved some sort of a neurotoxic chemical that when you touched it, it got into your bloodstream and it distorted your perception of distance and time.
Yeah. One of my best friends got fucked up one time, and he started talking about Asian people. We never even seen any Asians in our life. And he started
in your life?
No, and I guess maybe like in a past life he might have known some Asians, you know. And so he starts bringing up their names, bro, and knowing them and knowing shit about them on this mattress in this house. And I'm like, fuck, dude, you're fucked up, bro. I'm leaving, right? So apparently I'm the kind of friend that when your friend is at his worst, you fucking leave, bro. Because I was
he's
just
talking about Chinese people.
Yeah, well,
He's never met Chinese people.
We never known any.
So what is he saying?
He's just saying like, hey, you remember fucking you remember fucking Sun Lam, bro? He was there for us, you know, and all this shit. I'm like, Sun Lam, bro? We don't know him, dude. You know, and he was fucking like talking about Dorothy, you know. We didn't know any Asians, bro. And I'm like, I gotta get away
So
from
where you
this
came
dude.
from, when you grew up, there was no Asians in that neighborhood? Not when you were there. Now there's probably 4.
Yeah.
Right.
Dude, we had a woman named Dot Wall was one of our bus drivers.
Dot Wall?
Dot Wall, dude. 7 letters, baby. That's what she used to say. That was her motto after she'd say her name. 7 letters, baby. Beat that. We had a dude, when I was growing up, this dude, we stayed at his house one time, this guy Curtis, and he knows it.
He has a big dick. I could tell by his name.
He actually, bruh, he has a big dick and a gay brother, dude.
Damn.
If you got a gay brother, you have a big dick.
For 1,000%.
You know, guy.
Or if you're a cop, the cops are packing dick.
Really?
Usually. I mean, the highway patrol generally has bigger penis.
I got to look that up.
All right. So Curtis...
Yeah, he had a bunch of animals at his house. Like
Right.
he probably had 20 animal cages in his room, and I was so scared I couldn't go to sleep. He had snakes, ferrets.
Were you sleeping at his house?
Yeah, we were having a sleepover.
Right.
And that night, his dad actually jerked off into the fire.
Oh, I remember
outside.
the story, yeah.
Well, also, though, in the middle of the night, his dog was barking a lot. The dad went out there, shot it.
What? Damn, that's
In
Louisiana.
the middle of the night,
That's
bro.
Louisiana, and no one did shit.
dude, I wasn't fucking going to defend that dog. He'd have just lost, you know? And I barely knew the father, you know?
What kind of gun was it?
I mean, it sounded like a handgun.
Yeah, pistol.
Yeah, I don't think you go out there with something bigger than that.
Yeah, you gotta. Yeah, that's if you're gonna shoot a pit bull, it's gotta be you. I don't think you do a shotgun.
But also the dog, you got to recognize you're outside of the city limits. This dog has to know where he's at. Like,
he knew.
You know, there's 5 kids sleeping over. You're going to be up all night fucking barking. Like,
Right.
unless it's a murder out in the yard or something, you got to tighten it up for the night.
I'll tell you this much: those other animals probably.
Oh, right after
changed
that, everybody was quiet.
That's it.
The ferrets shut the fuck up. Everybody was chill. The spider, you know,
Right.
quiet as fuck.
Quiet
dude.
as a mouse.
Oh, had put on 8 slippers and fucking went to bed, bro. Everybody chilled out. Well, when I was a kid, they had a boy in our neighborhood named Mario, right? And he was, dude, he ended up dying, actually. He did some pills and drove into an embankment. But when I was young, he would shit in his yard and make me bury it. And that's how I was allowed to be friends with him.
How did he make you bury it?
He just asked me to do it, and I was afraid not to do it, I think.
He said, hey, yo, dude, you're not going to believe this, but I took a shit, and it's out my yard. I can't even bury it because I'll throw up. Hey, do me a favor and go bury it?
Yeah. He was dark, man. He had a real dark vision. And he would, I mean, he probably, honestly, dude, he probably shit 200, 300 times, and I buried it.
No.
I swear to God.
Come on.
I swear
Really?
to God. I swear to God, dude. And he,
How'd you not run out of places to make new holes? Did you think you ever dug up old shit to put in new shit?
oh yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, man. We basically had like the only setup I had, and I didn't even have a strong system. The only setup I had was like one of those plastic, beach.
Oh, no.
Like a beach setup. Dude, I'm
How'd you
talking,
get
I was
in there?
7.
So, wait a minute. This 7-year-old was doing this? How old was he?
He was 8 or 9.
Oh, he was tricking you by
Yeah.
being older.
He was older. And
2 years when you're 7 is a long stretch. You know, when you're 32,
Oh, yeah.
32, 34, that doesn't mean shit.
whatever, dude.
But 7 and 9, that's a big stretch.
Yeah, you go shit at your house, buddy. That's what I tell people now. But-
So for what was the? Do you remember the first? There's no way you really remember.
I remember
what
100%.
he said.
I don't remember what he said, but I remember.
How did it happen? How did it happen? Will you find yourself with a plastic shovel and another person's shit, going, "Damn"? How did it come to this?
Well, it came to it because I know my brother probably wasn't around, and I wanted somebody to play with, and he was older, so I was hanging out, and he was deviant, man.
How so?
He just had a little bit of like he was kind of slithering. You know what I'm talking about? From
He knew how to manipulate you.
yeah, he was
Obviously, you buried his shit 200 plus times.
like he had the same color in the outside of his eye and the inside of his eye. You know what I'm talking
Like
about?
a demon.
Yeah, like a light demon.
El Diablo.
Yeah, like a El Diablo, but also who was in elementary school.
Oh, interesting.
But he.
So when you first found yourself, do you remember the feeling that you first found when you were digging a hole for a dude's shit? Like, just thinking, what am I? How long can I do this? What if he keeps asking? How do I stop this? How did you wind up stopping? That's maybe a better question.
You know what? I don't remember how it kind of how
Petered
it kind
off?
of petered off. I don't remember how it kind of tapered off. You know?
His parents ever like, hey, do you ever shit in the house? How come we don't have any missing toilet paper?
Well, dude, you know what? That's what I think it was. I think he was lazy. He was. I'm serious. And he shat outside behind his slide. They had a slide in his yard because they had, a little bit of money.
God.
And he shat outside behind the slide.
Shat is a great word, too, by the way.
And it was silty, kind of soil and sand. And I remember going over there, and I still remember. I remember the shade of it, honestly.
What did it look like?
I would say like a taupe, but with a little more brown in it. Oh, dude, we used to have a guy, I remember, that would come pick up a girl at our school, and I think I don't know if he was a pedophile, but he was just older,
It sounds like, yeah.
And he would, I remember, tell us about using like the Wendy's wrapper, the grease from the Wendy's wrapper to play with his body.
Yeah, that man should be castrated.
And sometimes I wish I didn't think about that, but sometimes I still think about it.
You ever drive by Wendy's and be like, I could try it? They do have pretty greasy burgers.
No, I don't think about it like that. I just think sad about it. I just think, man, I wish that I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I wish God didn't let me know that.
You wish that Wendy's didn't have the Frosty so you can disassociate the two.
Dude, when I was in like junior high, yeah, that dude that came, I remember, that would like do the bacon, like the hamburger with grease, that guy, Wendy's guy.
Yeah.
He drove like this yellow Cutlass sedan kind of car.
Mm-hmm.
And he had like like people used to put flames on the side of stuff to make it look cool.
Yeah.
But he'd taken like a blowtorch and like just burnt the side of his car, and it was like
Just make it look like he was driving the speed of light. Just
Yeah,
he
it
could
was
drive
just
fire.
like just some of his plans didn't translate. I don't think that good. But
I mean, if there was ever a car to touch yourself in, that's up there. I'd probably be 3 or 4.
God, the seats were so
I
comfortable.
think a Pontiac Aztec, probably the #1 car you can touch yourself in. Aztec.
Oh
You
yeah.
wouldn't I mean, it's just a weird car, but they don't catch your eye enough. But if you look close, there's probably a dude rub one out in there.